Okay, okay. I am live once again attempting to talk about this song. I jerry rigged my broken Mac, so the reason that it looks like I'm looking not at the screen but actually up here is because with the power of HDMI cord, you can overcome a cracked screen. So that's awesome. And yeah, that's the cool thing about gray areas as well, is that you can find different solutions. And sometimes those solutions are the things that allow us to have some kind of properties that may relate to heavenly objects. But if you ask Brockhampton, No Halo relates to that same journey, but it's also a single on their new album Ginger, which will be coming out literally in now in about 10 minutes. It's going to be in about 10 minutes. It's going to be one more day till it comes out, but it's coming out August 23rd. This is a new single, and pretty much what I assumed once I saw the title, which surprised me because I was like, oh, they're dropping another single. I thought 3 would be enough for them, but they said we're gonna get you 4. You're gonna eat so much by the time dessert comes, you will have hopefully some room left for dessert. So with No Halo, I kind of look at it as talking about the nuances of life and the fact that no one ever really exists in this perfect angelic state, or at least those who are in between are usually not tethered to any kind of ideology that would allow them to sort of follow a structure and then thus be put on a certain path, because sometimes people need structure in order to help them function, and that's not because they're unable to help themselves, but it's just because being able to be subscribed to something or attached to something sort of gives you a feeling of worth, that you're contributing to a group or you're contributing to a cause. And for the first viewer who just came in here, or if anybody who comes in here and stays, please let me know if my audio is on, so I'm not sitting here trying and failing to stream this again. But pretty much that exploration of nuance is done in this song in a very sort of laid back manner. Not that it's chill or it's, sort of vapor wavy, but more that it's instead a sort of, it feels as though the song is traveling. It feels as though the song is a travel and sort of this background noise, and that the lyrics are supposed to be at the forefront, and that the thematic exploration that they do sonically as well as emotionally is what should be should be what the listener attaches themselves to. So with that being said, it's pretty interesting. I'm nervous because I really hope my audio is working, because it was working fine for 4 or 5 minutes, and then it was just nah, bruh. But pretty much that road less traveled, sort of, it has a road less traveled sort of vibe to it, and we get probably one of the longest Brockhampton songs I can remember. We start off with Matt and we end with Bareface, but in the middle of that, we go from Matt to not Joba. We go from Matt to Merlin, and then we get a hook with an interesting new person. I am not sure where or who she's from. I don't know, pretty much. I don't really know anything about her, but pretty much she contributes with the hook, and the chorus is done by Kevin, Matt, and the entire crew. And then we go into a verse from Dom, which leads into a verse from Joba, which then ultimately ends with Bareface, and then sort of goes back into the thing. And an interesting detail that I'm just thinking about now is sort of how ghostly they all sound in the chorus, at the very least, because when they're doing their lyrics, obviously they're more awake. I think as far as it goes for the group, pretty much Joba and Dom are the ones for me who hit that kind of storytelling a little bit more. I really like Joba's line about the fact that sometimes you just want to be a part of a plan, because that plan ultimately feeds into that hope, and that hope is usually also intensified by structure, being okay, there's a set path, there's a set goal. Okay, there's 2 of you here. I'm gonna put pressure on whoever's still here because everybody's leaving. Can you tell me, am I good on the audio? Is my vocal cords coming through your whatever surround sound system you got? Please let me know if the audio is good because like I said, I don't want to be. Thank you. Okay. Thank God. The power of going live. It's absolutely terrifying and fun to interact with you guys. So feel free to talk about your life or whatever. I'll be here talking as well. Kind of got to do what the channel says. Well, this guy says. So pretty much my favorite line on this song is Joba talking about the fact that, yeah, like sometimes you need a plan because that plan gives you hope because you have a set goal, you have an idea, and you're not kind of operating within the seams, in between the seams. It's which Dom talks about the fact that the way that sometimes depression sucks you in is that you don't have any real path to go. You have nowhere to go. And sometimes you feel as though you are the only person. You feel as though you're lonely. Yeah, Merlin, I agree, Crypt Keeper. I like what Merlin did with his. I kind of like the fact that he talks about running out of options and like how when you're running out of options, typically the thing you feel as though, because I think what happens is when we get older, I was talking about this last one, but I don't remember where my audio cut off. When you get older, sort of the ironic thing is that when we're younger, everybody's pushing us to do these things. They're like, oh, you got plenty of time. Don't like go too fast, but you can take your time. And then as you get older, it stops being like, oh, you have all these options. You need to just find a job and make money. Everything has to be monetized in some fashion or you're not really making anything of yourself. And I think that's sort of what Merlin's talking about, because like a lot of his verses, when he's like not just like doing Merlin things where he's kind of like just being visceral and pretty much bombastic, he really does talk about some stuff. And one of my favorite songs featuring Merlin is Milk. I think that's the one where he kind of talks about food stamps and moving here to California. Well, not here, but moving to California and doing those things. As far as Matt, I think he was talking about a previous relationship where it started to lose its luster. And so I think in terms of relating to No Halo, it kind of talks about the fact that we all have sort of a certain idea of, oh yeah, no problem. We always have a certain ideal of how we want a relationship to go. It's sort of like thinking of it from a crush perspective, right? You have a crush on somebody, you're like, oh my God, they're like the most amazing person and like it would be totally cool. But then you actually date that person and you find out they have intricacies and a lot of nuances, a lot of things that make it imperfect. It's always the image that we're kind of focused on. And so when Matt talks about like the fact that he sort of either he's saying that he's thinking about like, oh man, like it seems like this person's starting to lose interest and they're starting to like not really be as interested in me, or he's literally referencing the time he got cheated on, because I think Saturation 2, was it Heat? He literally talks about how like his best friend basically stole his girl and how like that kind of like how he forgave him, but it's still something that bugged him, something that like kind of weighed on him. So I don't know if he's referencing that situation, but I know that like basically he's kind of talking about the nerves that go with it, because the moment you lose your lust for somebody, the moment you feel as though somebody does not see you in the same light, it sort of kind of terrifies you because you're like, oh crap, what do I have to do to like regain that same favor? And then you start losing yourself. It is crazy like how like you start noticing that like the moment you notice that, everything falls apart. The moments that are great are like kind of when you're just lost in the emotion. My favorite Brockhampton member right now, I can't pick. Like I feel like I really like the fact that like, because there's so many different, I guess for me at the moment, as far as gender goes, I've really loved what Matt's been doing. I think that like his verse on Boy Bye was just really fun. I've always loved Dom. I feel like Dom has the most, not perspective, but he has the most like kind of dexterity. And I love the bond. Like I said, I love the energy and raucousness of Merlin and Joba. but like at the same time, I really like the duality where they're kind of like excited and energetic, but at times they can give you like really legit information. And I'm really glad you enjoy this Crypt Keeper, by the way. I wasn't ignoring you. I just wanted to answer the question. Yeah, like I, as far as favorite, it's just like crazy because like I like so many different characteristics of each member because they relate back to me. And I think that's why a lot of people really like Brockhampton, is because there's a lot of personality characteristics, but you can say it about anybody. But yeah, I guess Kevin, I guess like Kevin, just because I want to be that buff. Like if y'all saw that Boy Bye video, bro, like I want to be like that strong. Like Brody like was literally doing like the casual, just like sit back and like out here. Yeah. Like, yeah, I want to be that buff. I want to have like, if I had to choose, I guess like, yeah, Kevin got swole, bro. I'm trying to be on some Boy Bye buffness, bro. Like just walking around, just like, you know what? My label gave me 15 million and I'm strong. You know what I'm saying? I'm strong, you know? So yeah, as far as favorite Brockhampton member, I honestly am not sure because I just love pretty much all of them. I've liked everything that they bring to the table, and I try to like, yeah, I try to just like appreciate everything that they offer because they're all an intrinsic part of the group. And yeah, after like all the stuff that they've gone through, we're kind of finally getting to see them where they're at a better place than they were. Because Iridescence was both something new and also them. What does it say? Deb Never or Dom Fike for new Brockhampton member. Dom Fike, I feel like is literally just an honorary one. I feel like Brockhampton, it's sort of like that girl that's in the music video. I feel like everyone's just honorary at this point, and sort of unless they literally say it out loud. I'm kind of taking whoever's there as like, you're in Brockhampton. Like Fantano, he's in Brockhampton. Sorry, I ate prior to this engagement, and the food's catching up with me. But yeah, I guess I mean, and Deb Never, isn't he that's the other guy that's in Brockhampton, right? I can't remember if he's like. What is your favorite BH song in terms of lyrical content, or what song do you feel is the most profound? Junkie, Junkie or Canon. It has to be between those two. As far as like, yeah, as far as Deb never features on Halo, on No Halo. Oh, that the girl's name? Deb Never? Is that her name? She's cool. She seems really cool. Amir on Canada go great. Yeah, she's the one in the video. I'm gonna say Deb Never is a member of Brockhampton, or she's at least a really good friend that featured on there. Because Brockhampton rarely does features. They'll usually do like samples. Like they sampled Beyonce on Honey, which I didn't know until I looked it up later. You know, I always learn information after the fact. You gotta always be learning. But as far as my favorite BA song, Canon or Junkie, because Junkie's just like there's a lot of visceralness. Junkie is like sort of if you fused Heat with something along the lines of Boogie, and like Brockhampton with a female voice would be awesome, considering how they're able to be very open and allow people to, I've been dripping candy paint. Man, I was listening to Junkie before I went to work today. I was just like, oh my God, like this is it's not exactly the happiest song. And yeah, it's crazy because for me, I know it's like sort of a sensitive topic, but Amir's lines on there are just really intense. And then at the same time, you juxtapose it with what Matt said. And I think that's like one of the first, I mean, not the first times. There's like been plenty of rappers that have like sort of feminist values within their rap, and I think that's awesome. I think we need to empower ladies, let them live, for Christ's sake. But I think I would have to say Junkie or Canon. I think Junkie would win because I really love that part when thank you. I saw your comment on it, and I was like, anytime like I get comments that are appreciative of my work, I really think it's awesome. I don't think Deb is actually a member. She's just a friend of theirs. Maybe believe Matt Champion is dating her friend. Matt was actually in Deb's video for Ugly. Well, now I have some homework to do after the stream, which I didn't know was gonna go this long because I didn't. I was like, oh, interaction, let's do it. But yeah, thank you, George the Great. I seriously, it's like awesome to me when people like see the stuff that I do and like it. It's cool, and I try to just make sure I bring you guys more stuff. And like I said before, I've also wanted to sort of venture out and experiment with the format. This is more because my Mac broke, but I also got an HDMI cord, so I'm technically using my Mac. It's not back yet. When it comes back, there'll be videos, but for now, streaming has been. And I literally had to get like a whole new freaking browser because Google Chrome was not working with me. A lot of people got mad about Amir leaving, but I think if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have another BH project, considering the label deal would have gone stale. I mean, there's probably an alternate universe where basically Amir doesn't do bad things and hurt people, and basically we kind of get him healing that. How did you feel about Amir, and would you peep a solo project from him? I mean, the thing about it is pretty much if these people that came out and said like Amir did these things were telling the truth, and Amir pretty much kind of confirmed to a degree that they were telling the truth, it's kind of like you pretty much have to accept that like, yeah, like it's shitty and you shouldn't hurt anybody in any kind of way, especially like considering that women already have to deal with so much that you shouldn't put them in a position where they have to like defend themselves, especially if you're in a relationship with them. They're giving you their ultimate trust. Your relationship with anybody, they're kind of like trusting you to a huge degree. So I just feel like as far as Amir goes, it's disappointing, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, Amir needs to be back because he'll ultimately transform. As far as his own project, it'd be cool. Like I still listen to Teeth. Like Teeth is one of my more motivating songs that I've heard. Like Teeth, I when you need a pick me up, just hearing it's like it's bittersweet now. But if you take out the context, which I don't know how you can, but if you take out the context, Teeth it hits pretty well. Let's see. That's true. I feel like Brockhampton hits a wide audience already talking about taboo topics, and there's a lot of women who are Brockhampton fans, so it'd be nice for a female voice. Exactly. Pretty much allowing females to have, allowing females to have be in Brockhampton, which is already talking about stuff that people consider taboo. I mean, how many rappers do you know can get away with talking about like I rap about dick still, and at least a house still? I fucking that line, man. Let me tell you, I'm stealing that from Comics is Playing, but man, let me tell you, I love it when he says that. I think he was trying to change for a long time though, but he's always spoke about how bad he was in the past. He never really hit it. Oh yeah. I don't think he hit it. I think it just caught up to him. Because sometimes there are certain things in your past that you can't necessarily outrun. The only thing that happens is that you end up basically kind of, if you're trying to change from your past, you kind of have to remove yourself entirely from that, if that makes sense. Like you can't put yourself in certain situations that will yank you back into that. That's the best way I can really put it. Like you have to be able to grow, and the only way you're going to be able to grow is to confront your past. But then after you confront your past, you need to make sure you don't put yourself in situations put yourself in situations like that. And I think pretty much it's like, yeah, you can have a bad past. I think a lot of us have like pretty checkered past. Like anybody can look in anybody's closet and find skeletons in there. No, there's not skeletons in mine. There's just a bunch of jackets, a few shoes. There's a tripod that's broken, but there's a tripod in there. So I think he still could improve as a person, but for the people who have like had to be on the suffering end, they deserve to be able to just kind of have peace with that, you know? Speaking of Amir, it's a slippery slope because it's like the same with X. I feel like Amir was trying to become a better person, but cancel culture rules today, sadly. I mean, you know, Heath Ledger with some dress. I just gave him a name another rapper, whoever. I don't know. But as far as Amir goes, yeah, I don't know if it was cancel culture because he literally like came out on Twitter and was like, yeah, I did like some of this stuff. And again, George was just mentioning he's not been quite shy about kind of talking about that in most Brockhampton songs. Again, they got colored a lot differently after the fact. I'm gonna try and put my mic down, see if like is my audio still good? Is it cool? I wanted to stop holding the mic because it's hot. It's hot. This mic's on fire and I'm not even spitting right now. As far as it goes, I feel as though like cancel culture wasn't as prevalent yet. Like it's hit sort of like this intense scale now. But as far as it goes, thank you, Dean. Love you too. I hope you're having a great time. This is like pretty fun. This is like more interactive than like most of my videos. All of we're a love stream, you know. I don't know if that like includes like are we on like Rainbow Road right now? Because like it just feels like we're going to Galaxy. I mean, Amir can be a shitty boyfriend and move on from that, and it's cool. But dude didn't have to set up a rob. Yeah, see, like stuff like that. Again, like that's sort of what makes it interesting because of the song that we're talking about today. Like No Halo, talking about the nuance. The difference between nuance, evil, and good is that nuance is sort of in the middle of like, hey, you can be kind of good but kind of bad. Like sort of think about Deadpool, right? He says he's not a hero, but he has some good traits. So you take the good with the bad. But in this case, when someone's getting hurt, you can't just take the good with the bad. You have to accept that, yeah, that was bad. Someone got hurt from it, and they're going to have to figure out how to move on from that. It's not as simple. It's just not a simple thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the best thing for the group was to just move on from him. Unfortunately, that means that the sort of, I know Kevin talked about it on his solo album, which he kind of talked about, where he basically was like, he wonders if Amir thinks about him, which kind of confirmed that. Personally, I really hope Amir comes back. He has an amazing voice, amazing story to tell. Every Heard Sincerely Yours, beautiful song. I have not heard Sincerely Yours, but I just hope that people that were affected by Amir find peace, and I hope that Amir legitimately improves. I think maybe Brockhampton, Mike Hot, dude, I'm sweating. You don't understand. And I don't want to turn the fan on because, like, hey man, what's your Insta if you have it? I do not have an Instagram because I am the most boring human being of all time. I don't really plug my socials like at all, but I guess if you want my socials, I have a Twitter. I just have a Twitter where I literally just retweet stuff. I try to be quiet. Not because I feel like I don't have anything to say, but like most of the time someone's saying what I already said. So like YouTube is just more me being like, I mean, if you want to hear me say something, I'll say it, I guess. Like, it's crazy. I actually had an idea to ramble about 2K's story because they dropped the trailer and I was like, okay, I don't like this. But back to like the song and the questions and whatnot. Yeah, I think pretty much, Amir should improve as a human being. He should still have that right. Those people should still be able to heal from the things that he did. And, you know, I mean, I like Amir, but I think him leaving is a positive for the group. He had that one flow. It is true. Saturation 3 was a real interesting, like, and I think Saturation 3, I got into them before that because I think like there's a lyric channel that's mostly focused on Gambino. It's called like Forever Gambino, and he would like have some songs, be like, oh, that's interesting. And then I heard like Brockhampton. I think I heard, what was it? It was really catchy. It wasn't Bleach because I gotten into them before that. I got into them. There's like one where he's talking about like being on the bus, and he's like, yeah, I used to be on the bus, and now I'm riding the wheels or whatever. I can't remember it, but it's Saturation 2. Merlin and Matt will be the stars of this album. Yeah, I would love that because the only reason I feel a little like it's hard for me to fully invest myself in agreeing with that is because I know like Matt has social media really does take up a lot of time. But I feel like Matt has a significant Matt's been like doing sort of outros and kind of like things, and we just finally get like 2 verses from, like we we finally got a verse on Boy Bye, because like the last two was just him being like, we're gonna knock on some doors and then you're gonna open them, and then also don't mess things up. Treat everything like a Jenga puzzle, but don't let everybody touch your Jenga puzzle emotionally. And then we find, like, when I heard him on Boy Bye, every time I hear like, boy, that thing bounce like a belly when it's pregnant, I don't know what it is. I love it. It's great. And then Merlin's Merlin. You know, I think that he is best in the role he has right now, where he's kind of sort of a role player. I try to look at music sometimes with like sports, kind of put them together, you know. So in basketball, you have 5 starters, you know, you got the star, you know, the guy who runs the offense, all the good stuff. And then you got the guys on the bench. And I think that Merlin's best trait is a role player. So it's not that he wouldn't be able to do solo stuff, but oh yeah, I think as far as him being the best on this new song, I don't know about that. I think I liked Joba's more. I liked the way that usually what I like is when we have a clear theme established, and then we have like a clear theme established, and then the rappers within the verse are able to relate to that. That's probably why I didn't release this video, but I did one on Costa Rica. I didn't really like Costa Rica, but then I also wasn't completely against it. This is not Beast Coast, but I think Dreamville. I wasn't completely against that song, but the thing that killed me about that track was that it was so many that it felt like they were all kind of trying to, like, not necessarily actively talk about the being around Costa Rica, but it felt like they all were kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm Costa Rica, by the way. Like it didn't feel as cohesive. And with a group that's as cohesive as this, I feel like they should have more of an ability to discuss and talk about the idea of not having a halo, because some people think we're angelic and perfect, and some people think we're devilish, when all we are is a person, an imperfect biological thing that may or may not have a soul, depending on what you believe in. Thank you, Crypt Keeper. I really appreciate it, and trust me, once I get this Mac fixed and I get these things, I get my ideas like kind of put onto paper and like just go from storyboarding to actually shooting things, trust me, I really hope for the improvement as well, so I really appreciate it. I went to a Brockhampton concert during their Saturation 3 tour in Seattle. They left the set after 2 hours of amazing play, then came back just to play Heat. 4 people passed out, 3 threw up next to me. I wouldn't trade the experience for the world. You know, I can't disagree. I probably would want to dodge the vomit, which I'm guessing you did, because it doesn't seem like they threw up on you. They threw up next to you. And hopefully it was towards the end, so that way you didn't have to kind of sit there with that throw up song. But I guess the hype, I guess adrenaline can like do a lot, because adrenaline can make you forget what anything feels like, what anything smells like. At that point, you're just trying to survive. So maybe, you know, that was what it is. Everyone was incredible, but Merlin added something special to that song when he usually just has a verse. Yeah, no. I agree. I really like the fact, I sound like Fantano. I agree. Nah. But yeah, no, I don't know if I stated it within this before everyone started coming in, but the reason that I always found that like when Brockhampton songs come out now, there's sort of a weird divide when a Joba verse or a Merlin verse comes out. Either it's amazing or it's Merlin, what the fuck? Bonus points to everybody who's gonna know that reference, because like we all heard it, you know. When you got a girl that's fine, you let her touch your butt, man, with consent. Everybody needs consent, man. We only do consent in here. But yeah, I think I like the fact that Merlin on this song was pretty much, I like the fact that Merlin on this song was doing like something that was more sensitive, more substantive, and I like I said before, that's the reason I don't really go too hard on them when they kind of him and Joba kind of bounce between sort of wild and frenetic and more to more calm and sensitive. I like them delving in both worlds. No, I just smell like secret agent Cody Banks, coated powder in the tank in there. Also, you have great speaking skills. I don't know how you have so little subs. Well, the thing about it is that I have grown a lot because when I first started this channel, like if you go to my very first video, I'm literally doing an Italian project. Like it takes a lot of time and pretty much determination, being stubborn and also being able to know like what you want to do. Because at first I didn't know what I wanted to do, and now I kind of have a set idea with some other stuff that hopefully will come out soon. So I really appreciate it, and I'm just trying to always get better every day. You know, again, this is just mostly like out of nowhere because I was literally just about to go to bed. I turn on YouTube. I'm just like, oh, whatever, and then I see, oh, Brockhampton premiere. No Halo. I thought we was done with this thing. All right, and then everything happened, and then I was like, okay, let's jerry rig this Mac. You go to school, bro, or you just work? I have a day job / part-time job, and I also go to college. I'm trying to get the education so I can make cool stuff because I really like making cool stuff, and hopefully it impacts people and maybe they like it. I don't know. Um, do you think the new songs would be better with Amir? Can't really say. Alternate universe me would probably have a better answer because he's within the universe that would have a mirror, and until we perfect dimensional travel, I can't really say. I've always been curious about what his contributions would be, but I try to let the guys sort of enjoy this. This is something they made sans him, and I think, well, I think Iridescence would be interesting to think about because it's like the first one after. Beyond that, it's like sort of kind of just it feels almost like meme-ish in a way to think about that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because be curious, but it's just not something I personally think about. I think Amir leaving was kind of necessary for them to grow as artists and people. No hating on Amir, but in these kind of songs, he always has this repetitive flow, as like in Bleach. Um, yeah, I mean, it's possible that him leaving did contribute to the growth of the entire band, the entire boy band. And that's like pretty much par for the course with anything. You run into certain potential tragedies, shifts, problems, something comes in your life. And I text my friends this all the time. I literally say, look, life is not linear. We don't get a set path. We might have certain goals that we are set on, but like every time, you can't name a day where everything went perfectly smoothly. You probably got in your car and you were missing a little bit of gas, or you got to work and then you forgot like your wallet. Something happens to really add that flavor in your life. I'm not saying you can't have a perfect day. I'm sure like perfect days exist, but yeah, as far as like Amir's repetitive flow, I think that potentially, again, this is alternate universe, but potentially, most likely, he could have adapted. He could have learned, and he could have changed. Who knows? I think that like with any good artist, they're able to see like, okay, I sort of sound the same on this. Like these are great artists though. These great artists are able to adapt to these situations. So you sound like a Ye area Kanye tweeting a Kanye era tweeting a good way. Hey, I'll take it. Kanye is a pretty great artist as far as like music goes. So I'll try to be sensible Kanye. Maybe I'll release my own shoe line. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything like, well, this guy says fused with Yeezys. Well, this Yeezy. Yeah. But nah. Yeah, as far as like flows go, I think, like I said, I think the best artists are able to just adapt and not get lost in that like same type of thing. And most artists are usually kind of looking at that. I think it's crazy. I think if minus the Trump, yes, exactly. I'm not about any of that. I'm good, bruh. This is a no Trump zone, or the four. Oh my God, the 400 years quote, man. The thing about outrage culture and being frustrated with things that people like celebrities say is that I try to again look towards the substantial. What can I do, and how can I affect this? because it's so easy for like anyone to just like go and make a video and be like, oh, this is bad and you should feel bad. And I'm like, okay, but I feel as though if you're really upset, you should find a way to contribute to this thing being changed in some manner. Because just simply sitting around being like, yeah, you dunked on him, like, that's super great, but like, can we maybe like get some change rolling? You know, that's pretty much my feelings on like anything. Anytime someone says anything outlandish, I try not to give it any energy. I just try to give my energy towards like, okay. I mean, if you look at my Twitter, I agree with what people say, but again, substantive, like things that you can feel tangible change is what I seek and desire. It makes me sound like I'm on some Cthulhu type ish, but yeah, Amir sometimes snap. One song I was surprised in a good way with him was "In Dirt," which is one of Brockhampton's first songs ever. I got to re-listen to that because I want to say I went all the way back to not American Boyfriend, which is a good album, but I went all the way back to All American Trash. And I think, what is it? My favorite song off there is Castle. Oh my God. Castle is like, I just love, there's just something about like a sensual sounding song when you put it right with a nice beat. It's like jambalaya rice, right? It's got the kick, but it's also sweet. You know, you just add a little bit of sugar to your jambalaya. I don't know if y'all do that, but my mom did that. Oh my God. Put some sauces on that joint. It's fire. 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 So yeah, I think, yeah, it's sort of the same thing with role players where you put them in a certain position, you put them in the right position with the right players to succeed, they'll succeed every time. I think, again, there's also the ability to adapt and change, but for the most part, when it comes to where Amir was going, I can understand as to why, you know, people were not exactly, you know, happy with the flow he had. But yeah, I think there's like bound to be improvement. As long as you like are able to like, because the thing I hate is sort of the idea that you can't criticize anything, because if we're not allowed to criticize anything, then everyone's going to just stay the same, you know. I'm not saying even some Chance the Rapper stuff, and I've not, please don't crucify me, but I have not listened to the Chance the Rapper album, and every reaction ever has me terrified to. But, you know, at some point I'll listen to it. Billie Eilish's album is fire. I know that has nothing to do with like what we're talking about right now, but Billie Eilish's album is sick. I freaking I love Bury a Friend, Bad Guy, Goodbye. A lot of songs in there are great. But yeah, No Halo, Brockhampton's new single it's pretty good. If I had to rank the verses, yeah, I don't know if I ranked them already, but it's a tie between Dom and Joba. And then after that, I'm not really sure. I guess Matt, because it was just nice to hear him for an extended period of time. And then Bareface? Bareface don't even really have verses, though. Bareface don't really have verses. It looks like it's getting quieter in here. This is the longest stream I've done on YouTube in a while. I used to do podcasts all the time with the homies. Yeah. I feel like I've hit every point so far. Obviously, if I miss it, I might do an aftertaste. And I would like to say this interaction has been great. This is pretty dope. It's pretty cool to be able to like talk to you guys in sort of a different format that's still relatively within the same structure. Like I'm still the same dude that does the videos. It's just I'm live and I'm talking and it's midnight and everyone's got things to do tomorrow, including me. I have no idea. The thing about it is, even when my Mac broke, I've always been determined to like get another video out. Like I've been like, oh, I gotta make a video. It's going on, you know. So, yeah. This has been great. This is awesome. This is I'm not sure. For the two people who are in here, because it's telling me there's two people in here. I don't know if that's going to change in like the next 2 seconds, but would you guys want me to do sort of an album odyssey? For those who are uninitiated, basically, album odyssey is when I go through the entire album and I explore it. I kind of listen to it over a good amount of time and I write my thoughts down, and then I pretty much kind of it's basically it's borderline album review. I just call it album odyssey because I like the idea of exploration. Um, if you guys would like that, please let me know because I would be like totally cool with doing that. It would probably be around this length, and I would go through each song and how they fit into the overall theme of the album, which I think pretty much just at this point, if you don't know, has religious overtones. There's a lot of religion overtones up in here. We got the been born agains with the reincarnations. We got the if you pray right, the idea of instantaneous rewards. You know, I'm new, but hell yeah, watch. Welcome, Matthew. Matthew, welcome to this live stream, which I did not expect to nearly go for an hour, but I am not upset about that. I want to make that very clear. I understand live streams are way better for interaction anyway, so it's cooler because I don't have to just comment and be like, "Thank you." I can just be like, "Hello, I'm talking and I'm a human being." Wow, human being. You know, if I had my editor, I'd probably like edit in like a bean right here in my face and just be like, I'm a human being. But yeah, is there anything else you guys wanted to discuss while I'm here? Because I got time. I don't have to leave too late tomorrow morning, so I got time. I'm really glad for the new interaction, the new streamers. It's kind of weird. It seems as though like when I started streaming, I've gotten more reception, but regardless, I like all reception. I like all discussion. I like all comments, and I like always to be able to interact with you guys, so you know I'm not just like kind of a faceless nomad that's just like, oh yeah, you know, I make a video, come watch it. It was funny. I was actually trying to like the moment my PC stopped working, the first thing I tried to do was actually stream it on my phone, and my phone said, well, actually, you need 1,000 subscribers before we let you stream over mobile. I was like, what? That's crazy. That's absolutely insanity. So Jerry rigged my Mac with the HDMI cord I got a few days ago, and it worked. So I'm looking at my TV and pretending the Mac screen isn't broken, because unless you can like enhance the zoom in on my glasses, that is a reflection of a broken Mac screen, which I actually have an idea for when I do get it fixed. And hopefully when I do get it fixed, I'll be able to shoot that idea and you guys can see it. You'd be like, oh my God. So that's how it happened. And also, cool story, bro. Make me a video. Yeah. I think at this point, I think ending it right here would be cool. Unless, like I said, if you have anything left to say, please let me know. Because once I hit that end button, away I shall go. And if you like this, you might like my flow. It's almost as dope, the same way the rivers go. I don't know what that was. I don't know where that was. Okay. So yeah, interaction, awesome. You guys, awesome. Talking about new songs and giving my raw thoughts, which is what Sashimi Thoughts is for those uninitiated. Well, this guy says right now, at the moment, is comprised of primarily sort of like 3-4 series. We have my basketball stuff where I either solo talk about basketball or 3-man weave where I talk about the homies. If you guys like that, that's available, and it will be coming back soon as I get this stuff figured out. I do Sashimi Thoughts, which is a series where a song comes out and I'm like, hey, this is what I think about it. Me and like 5 million other people on YouTube. And Album Odyssey is obviously an extension of that. The newer, sort of less Consistent series are Crystal Ball Corner, where I kind of speculate on something. I did a speculation when Ginger initially came out. Well, what was a teaser? And I kind of was like, it's going to be about soft feelings and things. And then, yeah. And then after that, other than Crystal Ball Corner, Aftertaste is a new one where I kind of I've sat with a song for a few days and I kind of like have more thoughts. So, with that being said, if you guys like this, thanks for liking it. I'm glad you appreciate this random dude in his house rambling about things. And I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys enjoyed the song. If you didn't enjoy the song, I hope that you find other songs to enjoy. I hope that we all end up getting to enjoy the album. And I will see you guys. But that's not how we do outros out here. Well, this guy says, I may have no halo, but perfect is the way no one goes. So embrace yourself. Because that's not really prose, I suppose. It's just the truth. Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. Give me a 0 out of 10. Where's the end button? There's the end button. Couldn't find the end button. I found it. All right. See ya. Bars, yo.